So I'm starting the discussion from first product onwards. So any questions, you please typing in the chat, like every 10 minutes I will answer them. I'm going to talk about Azure SQL. So here Azure SQL is cloud RDBMS. How we have different databases like RDBMS databases like Oracle, DB2, SQL Server. Similar to them, Azure SQL is also a database, comes under category RDBMS. But the difference between Oracle SQL Server kind of databases, those are on-premise databases. On-premise databases means you have to set up your own hardware server. On top of that server, you will have to install your operating systems and then application servers and then databases. Then finally, you have to run our database. So here physical infrastructure is one point, and also maintenance cost. You will have to maintain different database administrators, hardware administrators, network administrators, like that. To avoid all these overheads, so Microsoft is providing the same database in the cloud without having to set up any data center or any hardware infrastructure. You can deploy your database and you can use that database for your applications. So here this cloud RDBMS is used for OLTP. OLTP means online transaction processing systems. Online transaction processing systems means end user transactions are captured and processed at these systems. Suppose you are performing a transaction, you are withdrawing money, that is one transaction, and depositing money, that is another transaction. Okay, whatever the end user finally he is performing transactions, the transactions are captured and processed by these OLTP systems. But there is a problem with these OLTP systems. The problem is these systems are having limited capacity. Limited capacity means less storage capacity and less processing speed. That's why organizations generally what they use is they are keeping only recent data for this problem. The solution, they maintain recent data into this. Maybe 2 years data or 3 years data, depends on transactional frequency into the organization. For example, your organization has history of 30 years, but entire 30 years data is not kept into OLTP systems. Only they maintain some 2 years or 3 years data into this one. Because to store entire 30 years data, to process that entire 30 years data, these systems are not having that much capacity. Okay, I explain the same issue with some paint picture. So here I'm keeping some boxes, treat these boxes as OLTP systems, databases. Generally one organization maintains multiple databases, that means multiple OLTP systems. For different applications, different databases they are using. Maybe for sales application, one database, for some other different application, some other different database, like this. Let's say the example here for the first, they are using some Oracle database for the first application. For some applications, they are using DB2. For some other applications, SQL Server. Think that recently your client has migrated to the cloud for some applications and he is using Azure SQL. All these things are simply OLTP systems. But in the OLTP systems, already I explained, they are maintaining recent data. Maybe 2 years data or maybe 3 years data, like that. Okay. But where exactly entire history of the organizations will be kept? That is into their data warehouse systems. But data warehouse system should have high capacity. So like high storage capacity and high processing speed should be there. That's why generally powerful systems, high capacity systems, they are using at data warehouse level. So within the data warehouse systems, simply I will type that data warehouse. In the data warehouse systems, entire organizational history will be kept into this one. There are popular databases for this, very popular databases for the warehouse. For DWH I am using short name for data warehouse. These data warehouse systems databases are number 1 Teradata, number 2 Netezza, Vertica. Such kind of databases are used into data warehouse type. But these databases have high storage capacity and also high processing speed because of parallel processing. With a parallel process feature. Parallel process means your data will be processed by the multiple systems. So generally a cluster is acting as a server. Within the cluster, multiple CPUs network is acting as a cluster. That means your data is stored in multiple CPUs. Data will be processed by multiple CPUs. Okay. So that's why because of that parallel process feature, these databases are giving very high speed results. Suppose one biggest process done by Oracle kind of databases in 10 hours, same thing will be here in just 1 or 2 hours. How they are achieving that much speed means because of this parallel process. About parallel process, the more details we will be discussing in coming sessions. But the problem with about databases, that is, these databases are good up to, as per industry feedback, 200 terabyte. If data volume crossed more than 200 terabyte, again, these databases will give bad performance. That means slow processing results. That is the reason after that, first initially the industry has used Teradata. After that, Netezza kind of databases and Vertica. Such kind of databases industry is using. These databases also comes under the category RDBMS only. But problem already we have seen good up to 200 terabyte. So that's why these kind of databases nowadays not required, because nowadays data volume increased more than that. Okay, so that's why later they come up with some big data frameworks. The big data frameworks like Hadoop kind of systems. In Hadoop, there is a special storage called HDFS. This is file system. The full form of this HDFS is Hadoop Distributed File System. So there are two benefits with this. Actually, other benefits, including all the benefits of this HDFS. One is unlimited data storage. Maybe 200 terabyte or maybe 1024 terabyte is 1 petabyte. You can store multi petabytes. Whatever the data volume may be, you can store into this one. This is one benefit. Next benefit is it is also supporting parallel process. Like previous databases, this Hadoop kind of framework is also supporting parallel process. So because of parallel process, you will achieve high speed. And third benefit, it is supporting all varieties of data. Generally, when you talk about all varieties of data, there are different varieties of data like structured data. Whereas Teradata database can deal only with the structured data, but this can deal with, this is not a database, this is a file system, but it can deal with the structured data and also unstructured data. And third variety of the data is semi-structured data. Examples for structured data. In RDBMS, we store our data into tables. The tables data are Excel files, even comma separated values like delimited files. Such kind of data is called structured. Unstructured means your images, audios, and videos. Okay, even whatever the thing you are typing, like raw text. Okay, and semi-structured data, JSON, XML, such kind of formats are called semi-structured data. So with the help of Hadoop, you have facility of all these three benefits, and one more benefit also is here. It supports all big data compression formats. For better storage performance and processing performance. So big data compression formats like Yavro format, RC format, ORC format, Parquet format. Nowadays, Parquet format is very most popular. Even in ADF, we regularly use these Parquet formats. So these are the benefits with this Hadoop HDFS kind of framework. Now, what is the thing is, I want same kind of system. Hadoop kind of system in cloud. That means the two Azure cloud. That is data lake. Same data lake in Azure. This is called as Azure Data Lake. Because this is our second product here. So whenever you have this, no need of Hadoop. Because if it is Hadoop, Hadoop is a cluster. Cluster means thousands of CPUs network you have to engage. That means one biggest data center you need to run. Biggest data center you want to run means a lot investment of infrastructure, lot networking components, and also you need a lot of team to manage our data center. But I don't want to manage my own data center. I want same kind of facility in the cloud. That in the Azure cloud I want. That is Azure Data Lake. So simply your second product, Azure Data Lake, if you want to talk about it, you can say is similar to Hadoop. That means Hadoop distributed file system is similar to Hadoop. All benefits of Hadoop you are getting. But difference between Hadoop, HDFS and Data Lake, simply Azure Data Lake is a cloud distributed file system. You can say it as a cloud DFS, cloud distributed file system. Then what are the benefits of it? What are the previous benefits you have in the HDFS? All the benefits you will be having here. You can copy all the benefits of Hadoop, like unlimited data storage and parallel processing feature, and all varieties of data processing like structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data, and all big data compression. Generally, if it is your Windows system, you are using a zip, such kind of compression formats. Okay. But here, for big volumes, the zip format is used only for zip format is for GBs of data, that is okay. If you have terabytes, multi-terabytes, petabytes of data, you cannot compress them. Okay. For big volume of data compressions in distributed computing systems, you have special formats. Okay, so Azure Data Lake is supporting all these benefits. So because of this Azure Data Lake, I need not to engage any cluster so that my infrastructure cost is saved. No need of hundreds of admin team, network admins team for me. Only 1 or 2 admins are enough for this. Generally, one storage admin will take care of all these things. So that a lot of investment, a lot of monthly maintenance cost is reduced. So next onwards, I don't want even data lake kind of systems also. Sorry, Hadoop kind of systems also. As replacement to this Hadoop, you can go with data lake. So next onwards, I am just swiping out this Teradata kind of systems and Hadoop kind of systems. So only I am keeping data lake in the place of my warehouse. But the thing is, data lake is a file system. Simply data lake is a file system. That too in a distributed fashion. What is the meaning of a distributed file system is the file is divided into small pieces. That means these pieces are called blocks. File is divided into small chunks. These chunks are called blocks. Blocks are distributed across multiple CPUs. Suppose your file has 5 blocks. Block 1 into system 1, block 2 into system 2. Similarly, block 5 into system 5. On that way, the blocks are distributed across multiple systems. Okay. But whatever it may be, it is a file system. But in the data warehouse, I want to maintain relationships between the data objects. For example, employee file is there and a departmental file is there. But there is a connection between employee file and department file. Similarly, sales file is there, products file is there. I want to set up a relationship between these files. But if data is in files, the relationships between files is not possible. That is a problem with the file system. I repeat that word. Problem with file systems. If data is in files, we cannot set up relationship between files. That's why solution, we need one RDBMS database in cloud, that too in cloud, that too with a high storage capacity, that too with the parallel processing feature. We need RDBMS database in cloud, that is your third product, Azure Synapse Analytics. If it is Azure Synapse Analytics, is a package of different services. Different Azure services. That is the number one, Azure Data Lake. The latest version of Azure Data Lake is Azure Data Lake Gen 2. And you have Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. Simply in short name, you can call it as Synapse DB. There is third product here, third service here. Azure Synapse Spark Pool. Within this analytics service, there is another product, Azure Synapse Pipelines. So about these services, later we can understand. Among all these 4 services of Synapse Analytics, the second service, Synapse SQL Pool DB. This is Cloud RDBMS. Similar to Azure SQL. But Azure SQL is used only for OLTP. Now this is used for data warehouse. Got it? Entire structured data you are keeping into data warehouse. Okay, that entire history. But in data lake you will use it for two areas. One is for a staging area. First initial dump, you will dump the data initially into data lake. Later you will perform transformations. Finally, the transformed results you will be loading into this Synapse. If data is unstructured or semi-structured, definitely we'll have to keep into data lake only. In this way, in my data warehouse place, I have two weapons here. One is Azure Data Lake. Second one is Azure Synapse DB. That means short name I am using here. There are the two things I will use into data lake, into my data warehouse position. Okay, I will write it with a fresh picture. Now see the role of your ADF, where ADF will stand here. It's my OLTP system. This is another OLTP system. This is other different OLTP system. Think that this is my data warehouse. In my warehouse, I am using two things. One is Azure Data Lake. Second one, Azure Synapse DB. One is file system, another one is RDBMS database, but both are in cloud only. See here, the database is on-premise database, which is Oracle for OLTP. For the second also, this is on-premise. For the second also, this is on-premise. This is SQL Server. The third, let's say this is Azure SQL. All these are OLTP systems. Second one is your data warehouse system. Where is the role of ADF is? ADF is in middle. That means you can say ADF is not part of OLTP, is not part of warehouse. Is an integration data ingestion tool, you can say, or data integration service, you can say. But technical name, there is another name for this ADF, is a orchestration service. What exactly that orchestration service? After few sessions, you will be understanding. Okay, this is ADF. ADF responsibility is extract data from source systems. Okay, extract data from source systems. So this part simply called extract. You are extracting data means first of all you have to connect and then extract. After that you are dumping all this data into data lake as initial staging area. So this is called loading. Once you have loaded, you have to perform different transformations. The transformations here, perform the transformations and finally dump your data into the transformed results you will be dumping into this Synapse Analytics. Just a minute. So this is called perform transformations. This is our third working step. So totally your work path has three roles: extracting data, loading data into data lakes, and finally perform the transformations, transformed results again loading into Synapse. So that simply your work style is like here, not ETL, ELT. So here in this picture, you will see three different areas. The first is left side, that is OLTP. If any end user performs a transaction, the transactions are kept into OLTP systems. But today some transaction happened. The transaction by tomorrow that will become history. Last minute some transaction that is now history. Okay. So all historical transformation or historical data that I want to keep into my warehouse systems. But how to connect with source systems and how to load into warehouse systems, between them how to perform the transformations, that is the role of your ADF. Okay. So simply the fourth product is Azure Data Factory. Already I have written the abbreviation, full form of it, Azure Data Factory. So you can say it as a cloud ETL, not ETL. Work style is ELT. You can say cloud ELT. But official name given by the Microsoft for this ADF is a data orchestration service. Is a data orchestration service. So the two, what data orchestration service is a cloud data orchestration service. So what exactly the meaning of cloud data orchestration service? After you understood about remaining products, I will explain. So the responsibility, the purpose of it, connect with source systems. Here source means source can be database systems or it can be file systems. Connecting with the source database or file systems, extract data and load into data lake, then perform the transformations and load transformed results into Synapse. So this is your work style. Okay, this is just a purpose of ADF. A little step into this ADF. ADF has two versions. These versions like version 1, you can say V1 and V2. So around some 3.5 years back, version 1 available, 3.5 years onwards, version 2 available in the market. So what is the difference between version 1 and version 2, especially in ADF? That is, in version 1, there are facilities of only extract and load only. Okay, that means so here what are the, suppose generally if you are a developer of a language, programming language, you are developing programs, right? Similarly, as a ADF developer, you are developing pipelines. So the pipeline contains different activities. Suppose one activity is doing extract and load, another activity is doing some filter, another activity is doing some other data operation like this. So simply these things are called activities. So in version 1, there are activities only for extract and load only, but not for the transformations. So only so our ADF purpose is ELT, but here you have facilities of E and L only. That means extract and load only, but not for the transformations. But to perform transformations, what they have to use is they are using some additional Azure services. I write that point. To perform transformations, we use additional Azure services. Those services like Azure functions. So generally in Azure functions, they are using C# language code, C# code. Nowadays, you can use even Python coding also into this. And also there is another facility, Azure HD Insights. Within this Azure Insights, there are additional ecosystems like a Pig. Pig is a language, data flow language. Or else you have to use MapReduce. Here you need to use Java. Okay. or else Azure Data Bricks. So here you have to use either Scala language or Python or even Java, C that R language or SQL. And fourth way is you can write our stored procedures to perform your transformations. Stored procedures. Got it. In this way, you have to use additional services to perform your transformations in version number 1. That means to perform the transformations, you have to write some lengthy coding. So that is the reason most of developers did not like this. Because most of ETL developers are with basically SQL backgrounds, but not with these programming language backgrounds. That is the reason they did not like this. Even clients also did not like this because of the reason. Suppose one simple transformation I wanted to do, you committed to write a lengthy code for that. The developer, so lot of time being killed here. So it causes development time and also more development time and more development cost. That's the reason even clients also did not like this. After that, Microsoft recognized this problem. So they released one more version, that is version 2. So in ADF version 2, what is the benefits is a zero coding ETL. No need to write any coding here. That means a zero coding. Cloud ELT. So without using all these services, you can perform all the transformations. All previous facilities for extraction and loading we have. At the same time, additionally, no need to write coding. That's why it became hit in the market. So even though if you submit me some 30 transformations for a single developer, within one day, a single developer can finish those 30 transformations. Because it is not killing the time. That to everything drag and drop configurations. Okay, how we are without writing code, how you are going to perform the transformations, you will be learning all the things. Very deeper knowledge of transformations we will learn. Okay, so in version 2, additionally, to support this zero coding, addition to that version 1, they released new 2 things. Number 1, data flow. Number 2, Power Query. Power Query is just recently, maybe maximum 1 year back. But whenever version 2 launched, beginning onwards, data flows are available. These data flows are used to perform transformations. Okay, used to perform transformations. That too without writing coding, without writing any coding here. Generally in ETL industry, some 50 to 60 different types of different regular transformations they are using. For all those transactions, transformations, here predefined, what you call predefined transformations list is available. Whatever, suppose I want to build a ranking system. I want to apply rank based on the salary to all the people. Okay, to apply the rank, simply rank transformation I will have to drag. And I do some configurations. And I give some expressions for that. Simple, very simple. No need to write any coding. In this way, windowing transformations, pivot transformation, unpivot transformation. Generally in ETL, in regular industry, whatever the transformations they are using, all the transformations are pre-built here. Got it? That to the work style is not ETL. Work style is ELT. Extract, load, and then transfer. So simple question, when to use ETL, when to use ELT. ETL for small volume of data. ELT is for big volume of data. Still other component is released here in the version 2, that is Power Query. Previously, Power Query available for only Microsoft Excel and Power BI, that visualization tool. Only for them this is available. Nowadays, this is available for ADF also. So generally, this Power Query is used for data preparations and data wrangling activities, such kind of things. And also you can perform transformations. But Power Query has limitations. Okay, to overcome that limitations, data flows will be used. But who are using this Power Query? If anybody came with a background of Power BI, they are already comfortable with Power Query. So those people will be using this Power Query. Generally, 99% of in ADF projects, we are using data flows only. Okay. So this is about simply difference between ADF version 1 and version 2. Please have a look at the version 1 features. In version 1, you have the facilities of extract and load related controlling activities. But to perform the transformation, some additional components you have to use. That means additional services you have to use. So in all these additional services, you need to write coding. That means you want to become a ADF developer means first of all, you should be a coder in the version number 1. But in version number 2, it's not required. It's a zero coding cloud ELT because of the facilities, data flows. Got it. So all the facilities of version 1 available, additional, these are additional features. Okay. Mainly to work with ADF, that means to develop your developer components. First of all, you have to understand about ADF building blocks. These building blocks are like number 1, pipelines. The second, product. It's not a product, it's a component. In a high level, we have, suppose you are a Java developer. As a Java developer, you are developing programs. Similarly here, as a ADF developer, I develop pipelines. In pipelines, activities will be there. Activities are working on the data. Okay. And activities working on the data, to work with the data, I need data sets. To create data sets, I need linked services. Even at the time of creating ADF applications, we follow this kind of sequence. In regular, we use all these things. Linked services. To create linked services, I need integration runtimes. So these are the basic building blocks of ADF. Once you understand about these building blocks, anything easily you can develop into the ADF. So what is the prerequisite for this ADF is only SQL knowledge, the basics of SQL knowledge. Okay, this is enough. Especially, I'm not expecting a master level of this SQL. You should know how to create table and how to query the data and joins, unions, and grouping aggregations. These 5 enough. These 5 basic idea if you have, you can understand anything and you can develop anything into this ADF. Okay. So about these building blocks tomorrow or in the next class. So the management team will update you when will be the next class. Mostly like Monday or like or one more demo we will take, and then we will start the new batch. So there, the first discussion I am starting with this ADF building blocks. Okay. So it's not right time. So in this moment, straight away you cannot understand about pipelines, activities, and data sets, and linked services and integration runtimes. So simply the summary about today's discussion, majorly 4 products we discussed. One is Azure SQL. What is Azure SQL? Is a cloud RDBMS used for OLTP systems, but not for the warehouse systems. You cannot keep a multi-terabyte of data into these OLTP systems. Okay. So basically these OLTP systems are having less capacity. less storage, less capacity means less storage and less processing speed. That's why organizations are compromising. They are keeping only recent data into these OLTP systems. And second, we have another warehouse, that is Azure Synapse DB. This is also Cloud RDBMS in Microsoft, but this is used for data warehouse. Got it. And we have a distributed file system in the cloud, that is Azure Data Lake. Simply you can say it as a cloud distributed file system similar to HDFS. If it is HDFS, we have some benefits with that HDFS. What are those benefits? 4 benefits I listed. First benefit, unlimited data storage. Today, your organization has petabyte, not a problem. Tomorrow it reaches 10 petabyte, also not a problem. Whatever the data volume may be, you can store it. That is unlimited data storage. Second, it is supporting parallel process. Advantage of parallel process is a very high speed. Okay. Third benefit, all varieties of data. All varieties of data means structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data. Generally tables, Excel files, CSV files like delimited files, all these things comes under structured. Unstructured means your images, audios, videos, these things are called unstructured. Even raw text also unstructured. Raw structured means articles, your Facebook posts. So whatever the content I am typing on the notepad, all these things are raw text. So those things are unstructured. But to work with unstructured data, there are the special techniques, special algorithms are there. In Databricks kind of systems, with the Databricks kind of systems, they are working with this unstructured. That too by using some Python language. And one more variety, semi-structured and semi-structured. Semi-structured means JSON, XML, such kind of data formats are called semi-structured. With help of ADF, you can process structured and semi-structured, but not unstructured. To process unstructured, again, you have special techniques in the Azure. By using Azure ML and Azure Databricks, they used to work with unstructured data. So in this way, Data Lake is supporting all varieties of data and also all formats of data. And the fourth product, that is our product, that is ADF. Is a cloud. In the beginning of the demo, we discussed it as a cloud ETL. In fact, it's not a cloud ETL, it's a cloud ELT. Our work style is cloud ELT. Extract, load, and then transform. The technical name given by Microsoft, that is cloud data orchestration service. Meaning of orchestration, after few sessions you will be understanding. But before that, one conclusion, ETL versus ELT. Remember this point. ETL recommends for small volume of data. This is for big volume of data. Because for the big volume of data processing, here transformations comes under processing, sir. For big data volumes, you need parallel systems. In case of traditional things, there is no parallel processing system. So that's why like ELT style, first extract and load. Once loaded, the data is distributed, then parallel process is possible. So for big volumes, you have to use ELT kind of work style. Okay. So this is what like what you are going to learn. The course is about completely ADF, but at the time of working with ADF, automatically you will be getting idea about all the remaining products. Okay, so very in-depth content, all real-time scenarios will be covered as part of this course. Okay, generally whatever the work is going on into the real-time industry, same kind of scenarios you will be learning here with more advanced to that. So the duration will be like 40 days. Okay, generally Monday to Friday. In Saturday and Sunday, if there are any special sessions or any guest sessions, those sessions will be there until the Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes if in a particular week, if the agenda of that week is not completed, I will engage sessions into Saturday also. Okay. So when will be the next batch? So our management team will be announcing you mostly Monday. If not on Monday, we will go on Thursday. Meanwhile, we will conduct one more demonstration for the new students, and then we will start. So once the session is started, we are going to start with the building blocks. Okay. So before starting with building blocks, just once again for 15 minutes, I will revise all the previous topics, and then we will start with ADF building blocks. Okay, sir, all of you. Let me check some questions here. So Databricks is a separate course, sir. Actually, we are charging for Databricks 25,000 rupees. But for you guys who registered for ADF, all my Databricks, I have currently 36 sessions in the Databricks, the two Databricks with PySpark. Those 36 sessions, previous batch live recorded sessions, that will be shared to you without any additional charge. So still, if you are interested to go for the new batch of the Databricks, the fee per Databricks will be 25,000. Okay, the management people will discuss with you. Okay, what I suggest you is no need to go for that 25,000 extra fees. Simply register for ADF. Okay, to my students, I give Synapse Analytics and also Databricks sessions, recorded sessions additionally. Okay, this is as my gift to you. ADF projects on deal with only semi and structured data only. Correct, sir. It cannot deal unstructured, but to deal with unstructured, Azure ML and Azure Databricks kind of additional services will be used. After that, those Databricks jobs will be called from ADF again. Like that, the thing is happening. Rachana, about Synapse also I give you the recorded sessions. Completely in-depth of ADF means in-depth of ADF I give you. So remaining things you want like Synapse and this Databricks, those recorded sessions I will be sharing. There is a question on Parquet format. Where is that? As an ADF developer, we must aware of all packages of Synapse Analytics. No need. Just how to load data into Synapse, that knowledge is enough. And basic Synapse architecture is enough. I recorded around 12 sessions on the Synapse. Just to go through them, that is more than enough. Sai Kumar. Sir, there is a question on Parquet. Just wait. Here Arun has a question. Is Parquet format is semi-structured or unstructured? In fact, it's not structured or unstructured, it's a compression format. The data storage format is like a columnar storage format. It has its own specific architecture. The Parquet format gives you two benefits, Arun. One is 75% of data compression. Second one is faster read access. Because internally for each column indexes will be maintained. The data storage is columnar storage structure, not row storage structure. You cannot say it as a structure or as a semi-structure. Simply you are converting your file, you are compressing your file. It can be of anything, structured or semi. You are converting them into Parquet. So that Parquet benefits you will achieve. Right? What are all the job domains in Azure Data Engineering? Presently, market is good, especially for ADF. No need to go for complete flavor of data engineering because people are expecting separate skill sets. Who is strong in ADF, who is strong in Databricks, like that they are taking. First, initially, be strong in ADF. Later, once you get into the ADF role, then migrate to Databricks also. Meanwhile, additionally learn Databricks also because I provide you the recorded sessions. Mr. Arun, can we get end-to-end project? End-to-end is a small, this is actually one illegal question and wrong question, Mr. Arun. To implement one end-to-end complete project, even companies are fighting for 1 year with 20 team members. How can a single person can do that into the training centers? That is not at all possible, not only for this organization, for any organization. Okay, end to end you implement once, you get the job, go to the company, do that project. That too, in that project end to end you will not involve, you will be the a role, a piece into that project. Here what I help you is those scenarios I will teach you with practically. Okay, okay sir, all of you. If it is interview question, more than I have, like my students have been attending interviews for the past 2 years. All questions I am collecting. Already I collected a lot questions. Still new questions also I am collecting. I can share you those questions. Okay. More than just max to max 150 questions will be there, sir. In every interview, these are the questions very frequently asked. ADF concepts, to practice ADF concepts. What is the name? Tarun. To practice ADF, you need to go for Azure portal. With the credit card, you have to take access. Previously, 1 year back, sir, without credit card, with the debit card also, they used to give you. But only nowadays, they are giving with only credit card. Okay. Will you provide any real-time projects, sir? Already I answered you this, Sai Kumar. I provide you complete real-time scenarios, not the project. If it is project means lot many months will be taken. The two lot team is required. I don't have budget. Even you don't have budget to participate into that. Already this is answered. Okay, sir, all of you. All these contacts have been registered. Sir, version 2, sir, directly, Vijay Kumar, for the new users of the ADF, version 1 is not available. Directly we go with version 2. Suppose if you are a 4 years back customer for the Microsoft, so for you, both V1 and version 2, both will be available. You can switch from one version to another version like that. But for latest users, Microsoft is blocking version 1, only making available of only version 2. Okay. Okay, sir, all of you.